Yay, Thunder Chain. I'm so happy. Yes, go rest. Oh, after I set your... Oopsies, not change leader. Change battle strategy to attack leader. Alrighty. Oh, come on, this unit's so tired it's gonna fall over and collapse. Just go attack it, Bolt. You're fine. You don't have to get there the fastest, absolutely 100%. And now Kojiro's got its attention. Hello, what happens here? Okay, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. I don't think I've ever actually heard that song or what that's supposed to reference or anything like that. I just thought it was a good reference to make. I'm sorry. I apologize. Looks like Troy's gonna have company to the southwest, but he's also got trouble to the northeast that he's gotta clean up. And everybody leveled up. So I'm happy. Oh, fudge. He's tired. Everybody's tired. Great. I put myself in a fairly precarious position. Oh well, tired or not, my unit should be able to tear through this one. Slicey slicey. That's what you get for leaving your leader exposed and not having them be very tanky. Guard. Just imagine this gigantic hammer wielded by this monster that's like half again your size with a physique that looks like he could crush a boulder. He brings this hammer down, aiming for your head, and you're just like, nope, dodge. And if you did that, you would be a Swordmaster. And people wonder why I wonder why Swordmasters get a bad rap. They're just so good late game. Look how much damage they deal. Look how well they dodge attacks. They're amazing. Might as well take my unit back to rest. Somebody else can get the credit for finishing off that unit. In the meantime, Troy hopefully will be okay. I don't want him to be stuck in a position where he's too tired to do anything but rest and then has to be constantly fighting at a weakened state. So hopefully he gets a good opening attack on the unit that's after him, and then everybody else can go support him as needed. So even though time is moving slower, I think our fatigue rates are dropping and rising at the exact same rate they were before. So wrap your head around that. So hopefully it won't be long before everybody's rested up more than enough to keep going. Well done, Bolt. They were too tired to get a good swing in. So Bolt's unit just was like, nah, I don't think I care about your attacks at all. Yeah, Troy should be fine. Yep, knew you were going to use it on my healer. Not worried. Because you guys are stupid enough to try and take Troy face to face with physical attacks. And he ain't going to take much damage. And no sleep for Aisha. Remember that if you're at this point in the game and you're using high chaos frame as a strategy, if you don't have the other Zenobians, like Destin and all of them, it's probably because you didn't get Aisha here. Remember, it's not just a requirement of having a high chaos frame to get the Zenobians. You have to have all the previous Zenobians that you could have gotten up until this point. And Aisha's one of them. Alright, Troy, rest up. In the meantime, let's see, who do I want to send up top? Probably Ankaseth, but he needs to rest. So, And we found Thunder Chain. Interesting. So it's there if you want it. And notice how less than 2 hours have passed in-game, which means... I think that's what the walkthrough meant when they said they completed this mission in less than 3 hours. I was like, wow, it really took you 3 hours to play this mission? No, they mean in-game hours. That was silly of me to assume otherwise. That's what happens when you're too tired to swing a hammer. We just dodge it and ignore all of your pathetic attempts at damage. I had to say that at some point. Well done, Bolt. Alright. Vega. I want you to go east. Now that you actually see the unit, I want you to kill that unit. Troy. I want you to kill that unit. Not Inkaseth. Let's go with Leia. Morris, you're well rested enough. I want you to take on Lucy. Everybody else will be behind you as soon as they've rested enough. Yeah, we're almost there, folks. Our first siege mission is almost complete. Ouchies. Your poor Black Knight. He can't do anything. He is helpless against the plasma storm. And we paralyzed both ogres. Could not ask for more ideal situation. Well done, ladies. Uh-oh. They get their final attacks in. Oh, that was brutal. Uh-oh. Didn't have time to pause. Oh, well, we'll have plenty of time to heal. The ogres couldn't possibly go before my units do. In the meantime, clean up crew. Hey, Quisimurda. Stabby. And everyone lived happily ever after. The main gauche. Gauche? Gauche? Gashi? Oh no, don't weaken the power of my healer. I'm so terrified that you will deal so much damage I will be unable to keep up. It is something that keeps me up at night and terrifies me. Ah, no, we're fine. That is something I do want to bring up, though. The level of challenge in this game, you might notice, isn't terribly high at this point. And I've been making it a point not to grind, not to overly train. In fact, the only unit that I've overly trained is my own, and that's because I wish to get the Elemental Pedra. As such, I've made sure my unit fights as little as possible. So rather than fighting with an overpowered unit along with a bunch of other units, I've basically been handicapping myself and using 2 less units than maximum is possible, because I also have my unit that I'm using to sacrifice to get Angel Knights. So I'm basically running on a 7-unit setup, or actually I think it's like an 8-unit setup, when you could be running on a 10, and still not facing too many challenges I haven't been able to easily handle. And I've still been able to liberate every single town. I haven't had to skip a town and say, oh, well, I don't have the capability to liberate this town because I don't have anybody with the right alignment. I've still been able to liberate every single town. So, obviously I'm doing something right. It just strikes me as odd. I mean, there should be a bit of a greater challenge here. But maybe we're just not running into it quite yet. Kaboosh! Oh my. Not only do we have units on the way, looks like Prince Amreus himself is here. Alone. With class Dark Prince. I feel I should be concerned. Troy. Rest up. Vega. Rest up. You guys can wake up in a second to chase after them again. Anyway, we're being assaulted as soon as we open that door, which, as you might notice, is a theme. Apparently in siege missions, it's very common that, well, or I should say, every single time you break down a door, there are units almost directly behind it that get activated, quote-unquote, and it start attacking you. So apparently that's a mechanic of, sieges. Then nobody got paralyzed? Really? Come on, you ladies can do better than that. Well, you can't now, because you're one of the people in the combo's asleep. But you get the point I'm trying to make. Oi! That's a bit of a headache. Do you know what I do to people who are bits of headaches? I slam them with hammers. Or I summon someone to slam you with hammers, I suppose. There we go, that's a gremlin down. That's everything healed up. And just to top it off for good measure, a firestorm to the face. Hit him, hit him, hit him! Oh, it would have been a full unit wipe if you hit him. So I hope you're enjoying combination magic, because we are almost getting to the point where we don't get to use them anymore. Did I just lose sight of him somehow? Despite the fact that he just hit me in the face? That's unusual. Do I have to, like, re-break down the door or something? Because I didn't pass the door at all. I just stood there. So did he, like, close the door and then attack us from the other side of the door or some nonsense? Whoopsies! I'm just changing everybody's class again! You know, it occurs to me that maybe this is just a bad combination of magic to use with these two, and I should change it. Maybe instead of lightning and fire, fire seems to be... Well, the wind portion is what's changing these folks, mostly. I just need these two to start using this magic. Maybe... Ice and Earth? I think I can do Ice and Earth. I'll write that down so I remember. There. Written down. I'm going to be changing their elements next time we're in between fights. In the meantime, Leia and Morris, rest up. And Kuseth, lead the charge. Alright folks, wakey wakey. You're rested enough that you should be able to continue with the murder. Troy gets two gremlins! Who can only attack by throwing kisses. I'm actually a little... It's interesting that they have the exact same attack name and nearly, or like the opposite I should say, attack animation to the fairies. And it seems odd. It almost makes you think there's a connection between gremlins and fairies. And it's got to be more than just a one. This is like a chaotic version, one's a lawful version. There's got to be more to it than that. I mean, like, from a lore perspective. And you're already tired. Yeesh, I guess fatigue doesn't recover as quickly in these scenes. And it doesn't seem to drain as quickly either. One gremlin and a goblin. And you abyss the right target so that we can deal more damage. Good. Stabby stabby. More slicey slicey, I know, but I like stabby stabby better. More units down. Phoenix Mail. You know what? I think it's time to forget the whole cleanup crew. I think it's time to face Prince Amreus himself. We need some answers. We need this fort. And we really need to figure out what the hell is going on. And who's our person who's still resting? No, not Morris. Wind? No. Bolt! No, it's Leia. There we go. And once they get close enough to Ankaseth here, I'll send Ankaseth in. So there's a fort within the fort. Huh. Bizarre. Yes, you have, Ankaseth. Behold, this is the ultimate power. The legendary power is mine. What you have is not the ultimate power. You lost to the infernal aura. You fell to the way of darkness. How dare you mock me? I attained this formidable power without losing my will. This is the ultimate power. The blood of the chosen. That's the privilege of the royal family. Fear the power of royal blood! I am your master! Bow down before me! Not in a bowing mood, I'm afraid, Prince Amreus. Let's see what you can do. Not much, by the looks of it. But you'll get an attack in. Dun 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 dun. Love this music. Really? That's your ultimate power? I find you somewhat lacking, Prince Amreus. I may have underestimated you. Well then, how about this? Uh-oh. Oh, so he didn't actually use the ultimate power. A couple of Ceteris and some goblins, huh? Still not worried. With the power of a god, even denizens of the Netherworld heed my beckoning. Now let's see how you do against this! Buddy, unless you came up with some new tricks, I'm not worried. A couple of goblins and Ceteris trying to punch through my face isn't gonna do much. In fact, let's blow them all away. So, show me what you got, Prince Amreus. Oh! Well! Two can play that game. Guess what? I win. Oh boy, that was stressful. I really thought I was gonna lose somebody. Traitors! You won't get away with this. I will rule the world with this power. Hard to rule when you're dead on the floor, buddy. Okay, so I knew that was coming. That he had something big planned. I knew exactly what the attack was supposed to be. What I didn't realize was how effective it was going to be. Wow. So if you're fighting him, and you're not as much of a risk taker as I am, I recommend making sure you're dealing more than enough damage to kill him quickly. Make sure he doesn't manage to summon anything. What I'm about to tell you is not necessarily true. This is the conclusion which my master has drawn after studying the relationship between the way of the darkness and the power it grants. The divine being, whom we refer to as the Creator, made humans from the void. To serve his every need, the Creator gave humans infinite potential. So my master thought. As evidence, it is possible for humans to enhance their abilities. A good example will be the magical power one can attain. Then, what is considered the very height of human capability? Is there a limit on human ability? As he continued to research the subject, my master discovered it. The seal put upon humans. The seal put on humans? The Creator feared the humans for their capability of gaining godlike power, and he decided to put a seal on their infinite potential. When the seal breaks, they gain power above the potential of ordinary humans. But many of those who release their inner power become dominated by infernal aura. To gain the power, one must control his mind and body with strong will. That is my master's conclusion. They become dominated by the infernal aura as their power is released. Yes, and that is considered falling into the way of the darkness. It is not an easy task to withstand the infernal aura. Momentary inattention, a small incident, is all that it takes for someone to succumb to darkness. And when that happens, nothing can be done to reverse the process. But how is the seal broken? It is said that those with this strong infernal aura break the seal as they draw out the dark emotions from deep within a person's subconscious mind and lure him to the way of the darkness. More likely, those beings are within the central region. Those with strong infernal aura. High-ranking denizens, enigma of the netherworld. The chaos, uncertainty, and fear that envelops Palatinus. They are more than enough to drag people into the darkness. What shall we do? Shall we cross the Basila River and march on the capital where King Procus and the denizens of the netherworld wait? Or shall we first liberate our fellow countrymen? We can only choose one. So, those are our choices. Do we liberate them in Patia, the secluded land, or do we march forward to the Blue Basilica? Thank you very much for watching, and I'll